Good. All right, good morning. It is Monday, June 2nd. How is it June already? Where did that happen? 2025, and we are playing the puzzles. Summer, in terms of, not being at school, summer is in full swing. We got a ton of projects done yesterday, and I was able to finally dig the hole to find the pipes, and my sprinkler project, this is one of those just endless sprinkler projects. We found first that there was one that's just running and running and running, and then I found another. I thought it would be nice to put in a sprinkler head in a certain place, so we'd put a sprinkler head in, but we couldn't find the pipe. I thought it was right up against the patio, and it wasn't. It was about a foot and a half away from the patio. Morning, Callie. How you doing? Good. Good to have you. So this pipe was about a foot and a half away from the patio. So I dug away to finally find it. And then there were 3 pipes, and I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do? Maybe I just run the system and then cut the red wire and just hope I get it right. And then either water gushes out or I have to put a clamp on it. And then my son was like, there's got to be a better way. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Let me go ask an old friend of mine. And that's code for I'm going to ask ChatGPT. And let me just text my old friend. My kids know. I'll say that to my students, and they're like, huh? You just have this friend that is ready to answer all your questions? So whenever to my kids, if I ever say, yeah, you know what? I think I know how to do it, but let me ask an old friend of mine. They know that means I'm going to go ask ChatGPT. And sure enough, ChatGPT had the answer. And actually, my wife had this answer, too. She was like, duh, I could have told you that when I went back inside. But it was to expose all 3 pipes, run that zone for whatever, 10 minutes or something. And then one of the pipes is going to be colder than all the others. There'll be ambient temperature, and then one of them will be colder. And even after a minute, I called my kids in outside again, and I was like, hey, which pipe is it? Right? The one is running. Which pipe is it? And it was, even my 10-year-old was like, oh my gosh, really? It was so obvious. So then it was just so funny. Just if you're not sure, ask an old friend. Ask ChatGPT. Let's play connections. Let's dive in. All right. So in the connections puzzle, we're trying to create 4 groups of 4. I see Sphinx, Treasure, Markdown, Odyssey, Jackpot, Frankincense, Myrrh, Value, Nymph, Journey, Esteem, Nickname, Voyage, Prize, Rhythm, and Quest. Okay. So off the cuff, I see Odyssey, Voyage, Quest, and Journey. Okay, an Expedition, and it's the yellow category. I wonder if we'll get it in intended color order today. An Expedition. Okay, so I see Jackpot, Prize, Treasure, and Value. It's worth a lot. I knew it. Oh, I know, not Jackpot. How about Esteem? To Value, to Esteem, to Prize, and to Treasure. Yeah, that makes more sense. To hold dear. Oh, isn't that precious? Couple of red herrings here. Yeah, I just fell into one of them. Okay. So, what else do we see? I see a bunch of words with Y in the middle. Nymph, Sphinx, Myrrh, and Rhythm. These are words with Y as the vowel. Great. Words whose only vowel is Y. I like that. Okay, so then I see names. Frankincense has Frank in it. Jackpot has Jack in it. Nickname has Nick. And then mark for markdown. Awesome. Names ending in K inside a word. That's funny. Thank you. I actually did that one pretty fast, didn't I? Oh, did you go see Final Destination yesterday? They keep saying it's the final one, but they keep having more of them. Right? There's still more Final Destinations, more creative ways to kill people. They'll just, by the end, they'll just put them in the Hunger Games arena. All right, well, cool. That worked out great. The yellow category, and we did them in intended color order today too. Isn't that funny? The yellow category was expedition, a journey, an odyssey, a quest, and a voyage. That was pretty straightforward. To hold dear, to esteem, to prize, to treasure, and to value. I also said jackpot, but that wasn't it. Words whose only vowel is a Y. Myrrh. It's funny they put frankincense and myrrh. I think that was... Hey, John Marco, how you doing? I think that's what Tyson was talking about with the multiple red herrings this morning, huh? The wise men red herring. No, actually, I didn't fall into that one because I only saw 2, right? If gold was on there, I'd go, oh, maybe. But then there's only 3 of them, So, myrrh and frankincense. I was not persuaded. I was persuaded once to click jackpot for prize, treasure, value, and jackpot. But it was not jackpot. And then I thought this was clever. The names ending in K plus a word, right? Frank for frankincense, jackpot for Jack, markdown for Mark, and nickname for Nick. That's clever. Cool. Did I say that one? I don't know if I did. The blue category, words whose only vowel is a Y, right? We've got myrrh, nymph, rhythm, and sphinx. Rhythm is a peculiar one with 2 H's like that. It's kind of funny. Did you get it? Awesome. Day 2 of pretty tricky puzzles. John Marco has the inside track. He's got the inside scoop. I love the reactions. Thank you for that. That's pretty cool. All right, we got a 5x5. Film by the Coen brothers, set almost entirely in Minnesota, not North Dakota. That is Fargo. Fargo was filmed in the wrong state, but it looked just like North Dakota, so it was fine. Phrase that's tough to translate, maybe. Like an idiom. I always have times where I'm like, I could say that so much easier in Portuguese. It comes out, it just rolls off the tongue in Portuguese. Actually, roll off the tongue is an idiom, speaking of. Skirts often worn by worn with point shoes. Maybe tutus. Was in front. Maybe led. Organization now checking for real IDs. The TS. No way! Are you kidding me? I didn't even get to the down clues. I did not even get to the down clues. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, here, let's start at the top and then we'll read all the down clues. Oh, that's so funny. Film by the Coen brothers, set almost entirely in Minnesota, not North Dakota. Fargo, for a name, for calling it Fargo. Yeah, it was pretty nice, pretty easy. Future categories, you already know. John Marco is like one of the editors. I am going way fast today. You're right. I am flying through it. Fargo. Phrase that's tough to translate, maybe. An idiom. Yeah, there are some phrases that I say in English, and I'm like, that sounds really weird if you say it in Portuguese. And then some idioms in Portuguese, and I'm like, there really isn't an English alternative, like an English translation for this. It's funny. From one language to another, it's just, lots of them. Skirts often worn by point shoes, with point shoes. I'm getting all my articles mixed up today. Tutus. Was in front, they led. Organization now checking for real IDs, the TSA. I'm amazed that I haven't even done the down puzzle. Okay, the down clues, one down says in shape, fit, Yeah, absolutely. Kind of content that might require age verification online. Oh no, adult. Oh no, adult content. Oh, get me out of there. Baptisms and bat mitzvahs. Rites. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a rite, like a rite of passage. Yeah, something you do. Cheese that's frequently smoked. Gouda, one of my favorites. Oh, one of my absolute favorites. Smoked Gouda. That is one of the best cheeses you can have. And then sounds from meditators. Om. That's great. Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool. Callie used it, or Callie made it, and then the editor used it. That's so cool. I didn't know you could do that. I've been doing this for long enough that I feel very confident, especially even like, I'm confident enough to do a live stream of them, but I still feel like a newbie. I feel very much like an outsider almost. I don't know. Maybe I'm like part of the community and I haven't like accepted myself into the community or something. But I just barely got the New York Times Puzzles app. I just barely got that app. I have logged in once. Like, I know that there's like a whole community. I still feel like sort of an outsider. Where do I begin? You guys tell me. Where should I start? Like, should I start playing like custom puzzles or like what's my next step? I don't know. You guys tell me. My next step right now is to play the Wordle. That's what I know. For a fact. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, but today I have I just barely dropped my daughter off at driving school. At the school they're having driving instruction, and it's going on right now. It just started about 20 minutes ago, so that's kind of fun. Speaking of rites of passage, right? Baptism, bat mitzvah. I think going to driving school is a rite of passage. But she's got her permit, and soon she's going to have her license, which is just the last couple nights. I do the live stream. I go have my day. I play with my kids and all that. And then later on in the day, we go find like an empty parking lot, maybe a church parking lot or a business parking lot. And we'll just have her sort of practice driving. It's so fun. It's really cool. Do some custom puzzles. I could do custom puzzles. Yeah, that would be fun. But what I was going to tell you is now that I've dropped her off, I'm doing the live stream, and while she's at class right now. But then once I'm done here, I'm going to grab all my other kids and go back to our same school, same place, and we're going to have my kids start either running or walking the running track at the school. My son, now that he's going to be in school, in high school, I should say, he's going to want to. He said he wants to be on the track team. He wants to run, and so to get sort of worked up for this school year, I even talked to the track coach. He's a friend of mine. I have the inside scoop with all of these teachers. I ended up talking with the assistant football coach and the coach and everybody. Because here I've got all these people are friends. I know them by first name. That's really funny. Yeah. So anyway, so the assistant coach, he was like, "Oh yeah, just walk around the walking track. It's fine." And when I talked to the track coach a little while ago, he said, "Yeah, you should start off small. Maybe just like one lap around jogging, and then another lap walking, and then another lap jogging, and another walking, just so you don't get shin splints." Oh, heaven forbid you get shin splints. That's one of the worst feelings in the world. Just so that he doesn't overdo it to start off with. All right, let's go play the Wordle. All right, you guys know my rule. I'm going to bow out of the chat. You guys can feel free to talk amongst yourselves, but I will not be looking. Because I am going to start with one of the worst words in the world that lots of people hate. Moist. Oh, no, it's no help at all. Golly. Okay, well, that does mean that I could potentially get the word like all in one go, because it's apparently a non-intersecting word with the word moist, right? I'm trying to think of the silver lining of not getting any on the first guess. How about glued? Okay, there's an E. Still not much help. Still not much. Oh my gosh. Intersecting word. Frack. There you go. F-R-A-C-K. Still just not much help. I mean, they're two greens. That's great. Okay, what would go with blank R? I've got all of the vowels except for Y, if you want to go that way. So what would go with R? Probably consonant R, like PR or WR. Or BR. So I could do, well, I've already guessed. You know, it could be fryer. Or it could be... Is that a word? Ryer? More rye than someone else? Or briar? Oh, wait, actually... Or is that with an I? Ooh. No, that's not how you spell it. Let me try that one. Okay, so we're way off track. All right, it's not a double R. We've got two guesses. That's a word. Preen. Let's try it. Oh my gosh. You know those puzzles you just think you have in the bag and you totally don't? That's where I was at today. Preen. Good one. Good one. Okay, what was the other one I had? Dryer? Ryer? No. Prior? I don't know. All right, so I you know, my strategy. I first came up with just whatever word. Moist. Everyone hates that word, moist. And then I tried a non-intersecting word because moist was no help. I'm like, well, I could potentially get lucky, I guess. I usually get at least one, maybe a yellow or a green, but no luck today. So we played glued, and then I tried frack, and between those two, I had an R and an E, and I'm like, what else could happen here? There's only one vowel. Between guessing all these vowels, there's only one vowel, and it's at the fourth. So either we've got consonant, consonant, consonant. 3 consonants in a row, which is not very likely. So maybe it's a double E. After I tried Ryer, I started really, really being suspicious. Maybe it was the double E. And then there's got to be some letter that goes with R, right? BR, breeze. The only other one that made sense was the PR, so preen. Preen fell into place pretty nicely there. I keep forgetting to ask or guess Shamu. You should be lucky it's not an ER word. Yeah, I did. I guessed the ER and it told me no. Yeah. Ayush, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okie doke. Well, next thing, let's play the Strands puzzle. Okay, and you guys know how Strands work. It's like a word search. We're trying to find what makes sense here. So, on the vine. On the vine. Is this about tomatoes? I wonder if it is. I wonder if it is. Just by looking at it, I'm already kind of seeing beefsteak. I see a K here. Where's the B? Beef steak. Beefsteak. Wait. I think beefsteak was an answer a while ago. Didn't we have a Strands puzzle about tomatoes recently? I remember putting in beefsteak, and then I was talking about how awesome it is to have a beefsteak tomato on a sandwich, like a BLT or something, or a club sandwich with a giant piece of tomato on it. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. Have I think we've done a Strands puzzle recently about tomatoes. Oh, look at this. Tomato. There's the spangram. Okay, we're on to something here. What else? We got cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes. Oh, great. Heirloom tomatoes. Sometimes they're like funny shapes and purple. I really like tomatoes. There are a lot of good tomato varieties out there. Ooh, what's one with an X in it? I don't remember. Let's see. 4 out of 7. So there are 3 here. Might be like 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to remember all the different varieties of tomatoes. Yeah. There's a good topic of conversation. Tyson, I'd love for you to weigh in on this one too. Are tomatoes vegetables or fruits? They're kind of both, I say. The reason I say that they're both is because vegetable is a designation, like a human, like, I think it's even like not a government designation, but just like an FDA designation. There's not any like horticultural definition for a vegetable. And then is it a fruit? Yes, because it bears its own seed, right? It's not like there's a lot of things that ketchup is a vegetable. I love it. Yes, ketchup is a vegetable. Pizza is basically a salad, guys. Oh wait, I know one of these. Jubilee. Whoops. Plum tomatoes. And then bunch. Lox bunch. Lunchbox. I've never heard of a lunchbox tomato. Huh. Interesting. Okay, do tell. What is a lunchbox tomato? No, I don't want a tomato that... They look kind of like cherry tomatoes. They look good. Every picture I'm finding of them has like a watermark on them. This is bizarre. It's a nice looking tomato. Look at that one. I would definitely eat that one. German lunchbox tomato. Huh. Yum. Yeah, that looks good. I would totally go for one of those. All right, so on the vine. Yeah, I think Right? What's a lunchbox tomato? Yeah, maybe have that with your tomato, your peanut butter and salsa sandwich. Oh. All right. Yeah, so today's theme on the vine, we got tomato, right? That's the spangram. Lots of different varieties. There's so many good varieties. My favorite variety is this little cherry tomato called a sun sugar. Sun sugar. I don't think they grow everywhere, but you can grow them lots of different places. The sun sugar, delicious. Oh, it's just like candy. Just there's candy growing in your backyard. It's delicious. The sun sugars. There's cherry tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, plum, jubilee, and apparently lunchbox tomatoes. That's a new one for me. All right. And then let's play Letterboxd. Cool. So we're trying to solve in 5 words today. Yesterday we got so lucky we solved in 2 words. I took a screenshot of it. Callie, I don't think you were on the live stream, but I took a screenshot of it. I think of you every time I do a screenshot because you're always laughing at me for doing screenshots. Yeah. In fact, where is that? Let me see if I can pull that up. I know I did. Screenshot from yesterday. There it was. I did Braves and stowing. At first I had the word towing. And I'm like, I was coming up with letters that could work there. I came up with brave. And then I was like, wait, I could put an S on the end. Hold on. If I say Braves, I could say stowing instead of towing. And so I wonder if that's here. Let's check first thing, see if that's how they ended up doing it. Bestowing and grave. No way. That's so funny. That's so funny. Here, how do I see these side by side? Maybe I'll need to oh, it's gone forever. Okay. Well, there you go. There. We'll just see them side by side right there. Something like that. So they said bestowing and grave, and I said braves and stowing. That's cool. I did it even, similar, super similar, bestowing and stowing. You can't say that those aren't similar. But in terms of how I got the puzzle, I got it in a different way than Sam Azerski would have done. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It makes I should get a pin for that or something. I get a badge. Sam, if you're listening, I should get a badge for that. I did it in a different way than the intended answer. It's funny. Oh, great. Okay, so we're trying to solve in 5 words, even though there is an X in this puzzle. Usually, tougher letters like a Q or an X or a Z or V or something automatically pushes this one to a 6-word answer, but apparently no. Apparently we have to struggle through this one. So let's see how let me close that. Let's see how well we do here. So try to solve in 5 words. I'm seeing an S, an X, and an I, R, D, and H, N, F, and C, T, E, and A. Okay. So we can't do EA words like create. Of course, we can't do the word 6, even though it's just standing out there. There is an H. We could use a CH. We could use a T. We could do a TCH even. Yeah, we could do fixed. Well, we can't do fixed because IX is on the same side. Good thinking, though. You do friend. Friends. That's a nice word. Friends. We're friends. I'm hung up on this X. I was going to say a word like teach, but T-E-A are all on the same side. I mean, it's a word. It's a word. Oh gosh. Is that that's not an official word. Some of you know that is a word, but it's not an official word. It's a proper name technically. Oh my gosh. Shart. Oh golly. Oh, is that a proper name? No, Trex. Like Trex decking. That is a pretty crappy word. Yeah, you're right. Maybe let's back that one up. Because I think you're right. Oh, dang it. I can't do scratch because AT is on the same side. That's a great word, though. There's some naughty words in this one. Shart. There's that one X word in there, too. Okay, I'm going to write down the word friends because we need to tackle this letter X here. All right, friend or friends. And what's left? Here, let me write down what's left. We got an X, we got an A, we got a T, we got a C, we got an H. And I really wish I could do that AT. It was then like hatch or scratch. Like you were saying, scratch is a great word. Oh, that's another good word. Detach, but I can't do ET. Detach. Okay, let me just clear my brain, start fresh, think of it. Okay, if I do hexes, then it's in the middle of the word. If I just do hex, then I can't come up with a word that starts with an X. Good heavens. Oh, that's a good one. Ditches. All right, I'm going to write this one down too because that's not a bad word. Okay, hear me out on this. If we do that initial idea, F-R-I-E-N-D, right? And then what did you say? Friend. Then D-I-T-C-H-E. No E. Ditch. And then I play hexes. Hacks? Is that a word? That's not a word. Well, we tried. Sports fans. Okay, and then we'll just end it off with sax for saxophone. Cool. That works, and we did it in 4 words. We had to do it in 5 today, but we did it in 4. Yeah, that works. So friend led us to the D for ditches, or ditch, just ditch. And then the H led us to hexes. Great thinking, Tyson. I just added an ES on the end. And then the S for sacks. What did we have to get rid of? All that for an A? All that for an A. All right. Okay. All right. Let's recap. Let's go back to the top. Let's see what we've done. The first one, the yellow category, expedition. A journey, an odyssey, a quest, and a voyage. The green category was hold dear, to esteem, to prize, to treasure, and to value. We actually did this in color order today. I'm a little surprised by that. Usually you don't do it in intended order like this. From least straightforward to most straightforward, or most straightforward to least straightforward. Sometimes they do it exactly backwards from this. That's funny. Yeah, to hold dear. And then the blue category was words whose only vowel is a Y. As I was reading them out loud, I was like, these are suspicious, right? But then I saw frankincense and myrrh. I was like, oh, they must go together. But then I was like, wait a minute. I see all these words that the letter Y is the only vowel in the word. And that's what it was. Words whose only vowel is the letter Y. Myrrh, nymph, rhythm. I got rhythm. Sphinx. That's great. Names ending in a K plus a word. Frankincense for Frank. Jackpot for Jack. Markdown for Mark. And then nickname for Nick. All right. We did have a puzzle about donuts. Yeah, it was only a couple days ago. Help me out, you guys. I remember telling you that my favorite is a sour cream donut. Right? They've got crullers. They've got. I'm trying to think of all the different. There was a cake donut. What was in the puzzle? I'm trying to remember what was in the puzzle. It was cake donuts, icing. Right? It was like different ways you can finish a donut. You can glaze. You can ice. You can. Now I can't think. Sprinkles. Sprinkle. Yeah. It was like verbs for donuts. Something funny like that in the connections puzzle. Yeah. No, they did. They definitely did. Yeah, it was a connections puzzle. Probably about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that was a great connections puzzle today. Super fun. Okay. All right, the mini crossword. Let's just run through that. Fargo was a film by the Coen brothers set almost entirely in Minnesota, not North Dakota like you would think, because it's called Fargo. I remember very little about Fargo. I remember that there was a pregnant cop. That's about it. That's literally all I remember about it. Phrase that's tough to translate, maybe. An idiom. Yeah, idioms. There's lots of idioms in English that I can't say in Portuguese, and there are lots of Portuguese idioms or Brazilian idioms that don't make a lick of sense in English. There's another one, a lick of sense. What? That doesn't make a lick of sense. Skirts often worn with point shoes, tutus for ballerinas. Was in front. They led. The organization now checking for real IDs. That's the TSA. And that's all I did. And I got all of them. Just boom, 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 one after the other. I didn't even get to the down clues. So the down clues, as they fit in shape is fit. Fit. There we go. I said the word fit. Tyson, you can't say that kind of thing. You can't say that kind of thing. All right. In shape, fit. Kind of content that may require an age verification online. Adult content. Baptisms and bat mitzvahs. They're rites of passage. Cheese that's frequently smoked. Gouda. Sounds from meditators. All right. And then the Wordle today, we got all... you know what? I didn't do this. I should have done this. Make fun of me all you want, but I will take a screenshot because it's all greens today. All greens. So we started off with moist, which was maybe not the best idea, but... because it didn't answer anything for us. but at least it told us what we don't have, right? So moist, and then glued. Glued, that gave us the E, and then a third non-intersecting word, frack. And frack had an R in it in the same place that we need it, which is awesome. So they're all green so far. And then we did, I'm trying to come up with a word that would make sense there. And it was not an ER, but, you know, good thing it told me it was an ER, so I'd quit guessing ER words. Ryer, I guess if you're more rye than someone else, you're ryer. And then what vowels were left, it didn't make sense to do consonant, consonant, consonant at the beginning. No other letters would combine to do that. So I said, well, maybe it's this double E situation. And so it was preen. To preen. Awesome. And these are lunchbox tomatoes, if you're wondering. Because in the Strands puzzle, we had the word lunchbox. And you might be looking like, what the heck's a lunchbox puzzle? Lunchbox tomato. That was a lunchbox tomato. So in the Strands puzzle, on the vine, these are all tomato varieties. There's the heirloom tomato, kind of like a purple, funny shape. They're beautiful. They taste good. Cherry tomatoes are awesome. Some are a little too tart for me, but the one cherry tomato I love, absolutely love. If you're going to start in your garden, it's a little late to start a garden now, but if you're still starting a garden, try some Sun Sugars. Specifically that brand, Sun Sugar. Oh, they're to die for. They're so good. So good. The next one, the beefsteak tomato. Delicious. Great on a sandwich. The Jubilee, the plum tomato, and this one that we just barely showed, the lunchbox tomato. Cool. All right. And then letterboxed, right? We finished off with letterboxed. We had to do it in 5 today, so instead we did it in 4. And in fact, we used the letter X twice, which is just funny. Usually you only use those tough letters once. Let's see. So we start with friend, and then the D led to ditch, and then the H led to hexes, and then the S to sax. Saxophone. Love the saxophone. Awesome. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, so thanks for a great stream today. I told you I'm going to go on the running track with my son. He's going to start track this next year, so we're going to go out and do that. Hopefully my other kids come with us, and we'll just walk the track. They don't have to run with him, but they want to, just start off slow. So, yeah, anyway, you guys are great. Thanks for a great stream. Thanks for all of the, all the funny chats and stuff, but you guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.